Well, it's not big, but it is big. It definitely can solve a whole lot of problems in men and women, but this is geared towards men. And yeah, it gets towards women as well. But, well, not men and women, but little boys and little girls. And the men, or the men and the women that they have grown up into. Notice I did quotation marks for men and women because the men that are out here today, to me, they are not men. And the women that are out here today that are saying they are women, and but they're doing, but you know what I'm getting into. But, and this could possibly turn into a series. So stay tuned for that if it does. Well, it probably will turn into a series because I think I'll probably be going somewhere with this. But as it pertains to becoming a man, and when it becomes, when you start to look for that one thing can totally have you locked in as a man and knowing how to treat a woman. And that is, drum roll please, home training. Yes, you've heard of this word before. Because home training, in my opinion, now this is my opinion, eliminates 100% of every problem that every man that does not have home training, or has had it and not taken it, or has not gotten the home training because there was nobody around to train them into being a man. It eliminates everything we see that goes on today. Domestic violence, verbal abuse, murder, you know, just straight up anything that has done anything bad to a woman. It completely it completely eliminates everything. Because if you were a man, and if you were raised how to become a gentleman. Now some of us, we were raised by women, by our grandmothers, and some of we were raised by our grandparents, but sometimes it was the grandmother that raised us. Sometimes it was the mom that raised us. And this is probably one of the side notes, side topics, because we have men in this in this nation that have grown up without prominent male figures in their lives. Me, my dad has been absent in my life, but because I'm been in the church, I had the men of the church help raise me by my grandmother. My grandma, yeah, she's done most of the raising, but the men, they have come in and reinforced and also brought in their own lessons. But back to home training. Home training is very essential to a lot of men and a lot of women, but especially the men, because you don't see the problems that men have. You don't see them. You don't see them stealing. You don't see them murdering. You don't see them robbing. Well, robbing is stealing. You don't see them. You don't see them do all these heinous and unbelievable crimes that happens. You don't see that. If you latch on to good home training, you will bypass every trick, every snare, everything that the devil has probably set up for you. Because I do believe that if you were raised by your grandmother, You were most raised by a grandmother that attended church, that made you go to church every Sunday, that made you go to Bible school, that made you go to youth choir practice, that made you go to all these events that was geared towards you becoming a man or a woman. Now, if you bypass, now you decide to wild out and not go, and or if you went to church and at age 18 you were done and you didn't go to church anymore and you lost that home training, then guess what? I'm sorry to say, but that's not on your grandmother. That's not on your family. That's not on your church. That's on you. That's on you. Because some of these men out here, they don't know how to be real men. And they may say, oh, well, bro, who you talking to? I am a real man because I hold my own. I do my own thing. Yeah, you doing your own thing. But when you say you do your own thing, what exactly do you mean? Is doing your own thing meaning, selling drugs, selling weed, impregnating women, getting with every fine woman on the block and having sex with them and impregnating them, then run away because you can't handle your responsibility? Or is doing your own thing meaning going to college, staying in church, getting the word of God in you, and praying, and doing like your grandmother in the men of church told you to do? Because it's one of the two. It's very easy because they have laid a foundation for you. That's what home training is. It's a foundation. You have that foundation because when you lose your way, you can rely back to the lessons that people have taught you. Now, if you decide to forget that foundation, you have nothing to stand on. Your foundation keeps you from hitting all the way rock bottom. You may be down to it keeps you from not being all the way 6 feet deep under. It keeps you, even if you fall, even if you lose your way, you have a foundation that says, remember this, remember that, remember what grandma taught you, remember what the men of God, the men of the church taught you, remember what other men taught you, remember the ladies of the church taught you. That's what it says. Home training eliminates, because now you got a sound mind. And with that sound mind, you can think for yourself, you can make the right choices, and you can go and have a successful, prosperous life. And when I mean success, I mean you get your purpose, you find your purpose, and you walk in your purpose. That's what success is to me. And you become enabled to say, you got a fork in the road. And it's a very hard decision you got to make. Either you take the left and follow what you've been following, or you take the right of your friends that may not make. And that's also what is put into when you have no home training. Because when you have no home training, the first thing you latch on to, if it's a person that you know and you hang out with and you respect, you're gonna follow them. And their home training may not be the best. It's home training because you're learning something. You're learning something from somebody. It may not be the right thing, but you're learning. Home training, the right people, the right mentors, the right people in your life, they set you on a path towards success. The wrong people, the wrong people, the wrong people, the wrong people. Why am I saying wrong people so many times? The wrong people, wrong decisions, wrong mentors, they place you on a bad choice. They get your foundation is not as strong. Because that foundation, it will crumble. Because because when you fall, it's so broken that when it's gonna crumble, it's gonna fall, it's gonna dilapidate, and when you fall, you're gonna hit rock bottom. Hard to say, but home training is very key in life because it sets you apart from every man and every woman. Because when you show up and when you're and when you dress nice and when you look good and you do the right things, you get noticed by a lot of people. They'll say, "Oh, that's Andy's grand boy. He doing good for himself. Got a degree, got himself a good job, got himself a car, got himself a nice apartment." Sooner or later, it's gonna be like, "Oh, that's great, Tyshawn grandbaby, and there's a new girlfriend. I heard she's nice. She's well respected in her community. She's well respected from where she's come from, and therefore that makes you look good because you followed home training. But you don't have home training in the grand boy. What is he doing? I know he's not doing this. His grandma taught him better than that. Oh my God, isn't this grand boy? He, I know she just turning her grave right now. Wait a minute, who was that chick with her, with him? No, no, that girl is nothing but trouble. He should not be hanging out with her. If that my grandson, I'd set him straight. See the difference? I'm speaking truth because it is what it is. Home training will prepare you to become a gentleman or a lady. If you don't take it, or you refuse to take it, you are going to wind up in so many problems because you decided not to do it. So you have nobody to blame but yourself. Home training. It will literally save your life. God bless you. Please share this with any of your young people out there, youth ministers, preachers, pastors, mentors, your mentees, show it to your mentees, show it to any young person that is going down the wrong path right now. Tell them that home training can save them a whole lot of problems, you a whole lot of problems, and the world a whole lot of problems. Because right now, my generation, yeah, we can do better.